Hey everyone, I'm Stephen J.B. Davis, your land specialist and residential realtor here in the Bluegrass region of Kentucky. Thank you for watching. If you are paying any attention at all, we're not on my roof, and there are two reasons for that. It is cold, wet, and windy up there, and also we haven't really focused a whole lot on matters around land ownership. So I figured, what better way than to start in my own backyard? I've got 13 acres here in the region, and I'm actually joined by Mr. Justin Wiese, and I said that right?
You did say that right.
Justin Wiese from Kentucky Secured, and we're going to be talking about security, because matters of security when you have more than just a house and a yard, when you're talking about acreage and hunting property and anything surrounding lots of outdoor space, you have a lot more things that you want to protect area-wise. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today, but first let's get to know Justin. So first of all, thank you for joining me today.
Yes, sir.
It's not as cold as it has been, but it's a
Right.
it's a little bit.
It's a little chilly.
It's a little
Got
chilly.
A little shiver, a little shake going. That's
Yeah.
all right.
But hopefully we won't be out here too long. I wanted to know just what got you started in the business and why you do what you do and all that kind of stuff.
So went the traditional route. High school, college. Got a management marketing degree from UK. Didn't really know what I wanted to get into, so took a sales job early on. Then I always say, you get your crappy job out of college and you get your decent job. So my decent job was in the RV industry, and
Really?
yeah, so tow bars and base plates. See a big motorhome going down the road. I covered Tennessee up to Michigan and Illinois. So
Wow.
Young, not married, no kids. It was great. I've been a bunch of places that you would never go to unless you had to go to for work. So, but like I said, we sold the tow bar base plates for like towing a car behind a big motorhome. So
Gotcha.
then the economy crashed, like into 2008, 2009. People weren't really buying RVs, and that whole economy just was really hit really hard. So
Sure.
as another financial indicator, if you ever want to watch and see what the market's going to do, you check Elkhart, Indiana, because whatever's happening in Elkhart is going to lead to the rest of the country.
All right. I
So,
never knew that.
I learned that. Well, it is the mecca of the RV world, and of course, RVs are toys. If you start seeing the toys and everything else,
It's
follow
actually
up.
it's play money. No one buys an RV because they have to.
Exactly. They want to. It's a toy.
For
So
sure.
if you see Elkhart starting to struggle, that's usually going to trickle out through the rest of the economy. That's something I picked up in that. So,
That's
but anyway, had a buddy that was doing auto body supplies, and it was a startup. And with many startups, you don't make much money. And I did that for about a year and a half, but just college educated. Had a nice salary plus commission and everything else, but this one job, go to a startup, and after a year and a half, I just, wasn't really making any money. So had a friend that was working for another alarm company and said, come work with me, you'll make more money, blah, 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 blah. And I'd always grown up playing with car stereos and,
Okay.
Nintendos and stuff, hooking up wires and doing all that fun stuff. So,
Right.
and had already kind of mounted TVs and played around with that stuff. So I enjoyed the electronic side of it. It was just, now we're switching into this. We got a little overview there, right? Yeah, a little flyover.
Lots of friends out here.
Yeah, lots of friends. So we ended up, went to work with him and worked with him for a little while, and like it happens sometimes, friends and business don't work out. So I went
Sure.
to work for another ADT authorized dealer, and I worked for that guy for about 2.5, 3 years. And that's really when the technology was coming out, like the smart homes and automation and all that good stuff.
I gotcha.
And their business model was not geared towards that. They were strictly just 3 doors, motion detector, keychain remote, and then like a little panic button, and the person would talk over the thing. They sold it like a life alert system.
Okay.
And I was kind of outgrowing my position. So, and I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit. So in kind of the end of 2013, I started researching going out on my own. And then 2014, I asked for my release. I couldn't get my release for them, so I hated life, and I had to stick it out for 6 more months. And then finally, in like around July 4th, 2014, those guys decided to shut down shop in Kentucky, moved to Florida. I was able to open office here. So I incorporated July 2014, and I had the next like ADT training was in August.
Okay.
So I had to like start a business, get insurance, get registered, get all that stuff, write the business plan, get that all submitted to ADT. It got approved, and then I flew out to Aurora, Colorado, just outside of Denver,
Okay.
in August of 2014. Signed up, went through the training, whatever else, came back home, became an ADT dealer. sell. Yeah.
That's quite the path, though.
That is.
And I find that to be really true with a lot of, I mean, almost everyone that I end up talking to for this web series, they end up sort of taking this, I mean, success is windy.
Right, yeah.
And they have a lot of hats they've worn before they get to the
For
point
sure.
where they're at. So it's typical in the sense that you tried a lot, but
Right.
it's certainly
Yeah.
unique in the fact that you do a very specialized sort of work, and aren't you the only ADT?
Well, so in Lexington, I'm the only locally owned and operated ADT authorized dealer. So,
nice.
So that's kind of how I try to serve Lexington and Central
gotcha.
Kentucky. Is I'm trying to be the local guy that you got a local face, you can deal with me, but I'm backed by the huge corporation that's ADT.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of been my business model.
Do you outside of business, are there things that you have time to do that you enjoy? Are you a hunter, or do you travel in an RV still?
No RV stuff. So I do enjoy, like last year we went down to Lake Cumberland, rented an RV and stayed on the water, and it was a nice getaway, like to shut the phone off, didn't take any calls for the weekend. It was great. And we're actually going to do it this year for my son's birthday. So like
cool.
It was cool. So I enjoy golf. Not very good at it because I don't have time for it. That happens when you have kids and decide to run your own business. That's one of the goals, is to work to where we have some more free time. Video games. I love video games. Grew up PlayStation guy, all that good stuff.
You have mentioned Nintendo.
Yep.
Always loved Duck Hunt.
Yeah, I enjoyed hunting, but always joke. Ron White said it best. It's really early. It's really cold, and I don't want to go. So yeah.
Well, it's not super early now, but it is cold.
Yeah.
So if you could, I mean, this is sort of the kickoff of a series of outdoor and land-oriented things. So I had noticed on your social media that you were helping someone. I don't know if it was just a barn for.
It was a hemp farm.
It was a hemp farm.
I think that's the one
okay.
they caught you.
So I wasn't
farm,
sure. So yeah, what do you like? What sorts of things can you do to better, protect and monitor like large spaces?
Right. I always start with lighting. I mean, that's a cheap, inexpensive. You don't have to call a security company. I mean, LED lights. I always say you can either put them on a timer, or even before I've kind of put some of the home automation stuff in, I would leave my exterior lights on all the time.
Gotcha.
It's LED. You're not burning that much energy. You're not going to notice it. And I mean, if you think about it, if your house is well lit up, your neighbor's isn't, which house are you going to go for around it?
Right. Nefarious things happen in the dark.
Yes, exactly. There's a chance you're not going to be seen. Stepping up from that, of course, there's many ways to do it. People always ask me, what's best? An alarm system, a camera system, or both? Obviously, I'm going to say both. And it's not just from a sales point of view. If you do just an alarm system, an event happened, but you have no idea who it was, anything like that. You only have a description of the car. Even if the worst security footage that you see from a gas station, you at least got a general idea of what the guy was, or what he was driving, whatever else. If you do a camera system, unless you've got notifications and things set up, you're not going to know anything happened until you come home and it's there. So my combination is usually to do both. Yeah, you're fine. Whatever.
When you're setting up outside stuff, do you have like any sort of requirements for electricity or for internet? I mean, if you're covering a large space, do you guys give solutions for those things, or does someone need to come in, set up like a router on a telephone pole?
I mean, we do. It's in this day and age, it all kind of rolls together. It's like we start out just doing security. Well, you end up doing networking, and all your cameras start to be network cameras and things like that. So typically, like at the hemp barn that I displayed on my social media, he had electric in the barn, and that's usually the number one question I have, especially if you're trying to do cameras, is do you have electric there, and do I have line of sight back to the house? Because what we can do is I put the DVR, the recording device, in his home, and I use, it's a point-to-point system, but it's a wireless receiver there and a wireless transmitter here.
Okay.
So if I've got power, I can use an IP cameras. I can run all your cameras here and then shoot them back to the house.
Gotcha.
It receives it, puts it on your DVR, and then you can view it on
So
your TV.
electricity is really your number one need,
Yes.
and after that you can sort of chain
Yeah,
things
and
together.
we can go from there. And you know, there's solar options, but a lot of it, and it's a hard question to have with people because you know I don't want them to feel like I'm taking advantage of it. But usually my pricing is my pricing. But the hard question is, what's your budget?
Right.
Because then I always tell people, I'm going to spend your money like I'm going to spend my money. So are you looking to spend, you know, $2,500 or $10,000 or
Sure.
what? Because, you know, your technology and what's available to us is like anything else. It's, you get what you pay for, and,
Right.
you know, you're just kind of limited on what you're going to spend. So
Great. Well, I think those are all great things. Well, that's all the time that we have. We really appreciate you joining us today. This is Justin Wiese. I did say that right?
You did, yes, sir.
Justin Wiese from Kentucky Secured, and I am Stephen J.B. Davis, your land specialist and residential realtor here in the Bluegrass region. Join us for more episodes on these outdoor editions. You'll see all of his information and, of course, all of mine. If you need either of our help, please feel free to get in touch with us. But in the meantime, peace.